Hi, I'm Lauren, and this is the Parenting Collaborative. Today, I want to talk about homework. Not the strategies, not the reward charts, or the timers, or even the quiet workspace with no distraction. We've all tried those things. I want to talk about what's actually happening in your child's brain at 3:30 in the afternoon. Because when I understood that, the whole thing stopped being a battle about willingness and started being a question I could actually answer. But I want to start with a memory. Growing up, I had two homework experiences that couldn't have been more different, and they lived in the same kitchen. My mom cooked dinner around 5 o'clock every single night, and you could smell it from the front door. It's usually spaghetti, the kind that took way too long to make. My sister and I would sit there at the kitchen table and do our homework while she cooked. No TV, just the sound of dinner happening and my sister struggling. My sister's an artist, she always was, and she learned differently from the way that school was asking her to learn. And homework was where that showed up every single night. And there was a lot of coaxing, a lot of convincing, a lot of hurt, and my mom going in circles around the same worksheet while I just sat there and finished mine. I was the academic. I moved through school the way school was designed to be moved through. And I remembered sitting at that table feeling two things simultaneously: relief that I wasn't struggling, and then guilt that I wasn't. Because I could see her, I could see what it cost her, and I was very aware, even as a kid, that she could see me breezing through the same work that was making her cry. That table taught me something that I carry into every family I work with: that not all schools are for the same kid, and not all homework battles are about homework. Fast forward to now, my own kids don't have assigned homework yet. That starts next year in 3rd grade, but we have reading homework from my son's tutor, and my daughter and I do reading together after school, Bob books, and then handwriting practice because she's working on those skills right now in real time. And I will tell you, it is not consistent. Some days she walks in, grabs her favorite pen, sits down, and finishes the homework worksheet like she already knows the answer and is just waiting for me to notice. She's done. She's got places to be. And on those days, it's very easy. Then there are days where she completely falls apart, and I have to find the book. I have to sit next to her. Everything is hard, and nothing is agreeable. And I feel the whole evening starting to slip. And here's what I've noticed as a mom first and then as a specialist second. Those days almost always happen when I'm solo parenting and my husband isn't home yet, and my son also needs me. I'm trying to start dinner, and she's reading my nervous system before I've even opened the book. She doesn't need more structure on those days. She needs more of me. The homework is just where that shows up. My son is different. He is motivated when he feels competent. When he knows the material, he runs through it. And when it feels too hard, we have a real situation on our hands. There's whining, there's moaning, there's convincing him to keep going. And if I haven't given him advance warning, forget about it. All of it is worse. The warning isn't just a courtesy. That is how his nervous system prepares. 2 kids, same house, same after-school window, completely different requirements. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Here's what nobody tells you about the 3:30 window. 6 hours of school, 6 to 8 hours of a physiological load. And I want you to hear that word, load. And it doesn't matter whether your kid had a good day, whether they loved their teachers, had zero social conflict, came home reporting that everything was fine. The nervous system doesn't distinguish between enjoyable demand and stressful demand. It registers demand, and it runs a stress response to meet it. And that stress response doesn't clock out when the bell rings. A child walking through your door in the afternoon is still carrying elevated stress hormones from a day that ended an hour ago. And here's what those stress hormones do to memory encoding, which is the exact cognitive function homework requires. They block it, not just slow it down, but block it. Research on cortisol and cognitive function is consistent on this. When the brain's stress response is still running, the hippocampus, which is responsible for converting new information into long-term memory, is operating at a significantly reduced capacity. The child doing homework at 3:30 isn't being difficult. They are being asked to encode, retrieve, and apply information in a brain that is biologically less equipped to do any of those things than it will be in 45 minutes. This is why homework takes 2 hours when it should only take 30. Not because your child won't buckle down, because you're asking their brain to work before it's ready. And simultaneously, while your child's stress response is still running, their brain is trying to do something else completely. Neuroscientists call this the default mode network, and it's the system that activates during rest and unstructured time. And what it does is file the day. It consolidates what was learned, it processes social experiences, it integrates the emotional events of the morning, It prepares the brain for new learning. And this is not passive downtime. This is an active neurological work. Your child's brain is doing something essential, and it cannot do it while they're sitting at a homework table, just as it can't do it in front of a screen. Screens present a specific problem in itself in this window worth understanding. Passive screen consumption suppresses default mode network activation. The brain gets external stimulation and stops filing. Your child feels temporarily regulated because the arousal of the screen masks the discomfort of an unsettled nervous system. But the work doesn't happen. And over weeks and months, that compounds. The decompression that actually works is unstructured, self-directed, low-demand outdoor time. Building, drawing, imaginative play, anything where nothing is being asked and no one is evaluating the outcome. 10 minutes of that produces a measurable reduction in stress hormones. And that's not anecdotal. That's research. Now, here's where it gets specific to your child, because the biology is the same for every kid. The cortisol, the hippocampus, the default mode network, that's universal. But what the decompression window needs to look like is not. My daughter needs proximity on the hard days. Her nervous system is reading whether I'm available before she opens that book. The homework isn't the variable. My presence is. My son, on the other hand, needs advance warning, not because he's being difficult when he doesn't get it, but because his nervous system prepares through predictability. The warning gives him time to transition before the demand arrives. And without that, the demand feels like an ambush. Some children need movement before they can sit. Some need a snack because blood cortisol is genuinely affecting their focus. Some need silence, some need low background noise, some need you next to them, and some can regulate better when you're not nearby but watching. The timing framework also matters. The 45-minute window matters, but the structure of that window needs to match your specific child's nervous system, not a generic after-school routine from the internet. And that's the piece most advice on this topic skip entirely for some reason. And there's one more variable that almost never gets named. You. The research on after-school homework timing assumes a regulated, available parent. Real families at 4 p.m. don't always have one of those. You're also coming off of a day. You're also carrying accumulated demand, and you are now expected to hold calm, scaffolding presence for a child who is dysregulated while also making dinner, managing a sibling who has clocked that your attention is elsewhere, and trying to locate the permission slip that was apparently due yesterday. Your nervous system is not a neutral variable in this equation. Your child's brain is reading yours before the book or the homework even opens. And on days my daughter falls apart at homework, she isn't failing to regulate. She is telling me exactly how much of me she needs. And the days I can give her that, everything moves faster. And the days I can't, we both know and feel it. This isn't a guilt trip. It's the most useful thing I can tell you about why the same homework, the same child, produces completely different results on different days. My sister and I sat at the same kitchen table, and we smelled the same spaghetti, we worked in the same quiet, and we had completely different experiences of homework for our entire childhood. Not because one of us was trying harder, because we were different learners in a system designed for one kind of learning. And your child's homework battle is not a character issue, and it's not a motivation issue. It is a biology question and a timing question and a what does a specific nervous system need question. And once you stop trying to figure out the behavior and start asking those questions instead, the whole thing changes. And that's what I'm here for, to give you the questions that actually get you somewhere. Thank you for spending time with me on this. If this landed for you, the full article is on Substack at the Parenting Collaborative. And if you're a paid subscriber, the homework timing framework is there too. The one that takes everything that we just talked about and maps it to your own specific child's age, temperament, and schedule. Link is in the show notes. I'll see you next month. Take care.